Well, aloha and welcome to Hawaii. Good morning. I'm sitting here on the beach and they're preparing the beach for the day with deck chairs and all the things that they put on beaches. So if you hear noise in the background, that's what's going on. So I wanted to talk today about dedication, whether it's dedication to spiritual practice or dedication to healing practice, your own healing practice, or whether actually it's a combination of both. So the reason that I felt this was a good topic was that I was talking to a Huna student who used to be a professional athlete. And I'll say more about that in a minute. But he used to be a professional athlete, and at a certain point in his 20s, his career came to an end. And it wasn't long before he was in hospital with unspecified illnesses. So he was very sick, couldn't walk, and so forth. But the medics couldn't identify any single cause. It was a syndrome or a collection of symptoms. And they couldn't give him any hope because they couldn't identify a cause and they couldn't tell him what was going to happen. There's a truck going to come around in a minute. So he went home basically feeling that he was going to die, that life had no point. However, he'd studied some neurolinguistic programming and he started to work on himself. And through that and a combination of Huna practices, as he started to learn about those, he affected self-healing. Ended up out of his sick bed, walking around. His symptoms, his many symptoms without cause disappeared. But he said it took discipline. It took dedication. Now, as a professional athlete, they have discipline and dedication. They learn to get up when they really don't want to get up. They learn to do those extra pieces of exercise, whether it's the press up or the sit up or the on the rowing machine or the extra weights or whatever it is. They do it even when they're really not feeling like doing it. But for most of them, their identity is in their athleticism. And so when they lose their careers, which most of them do, either because of age or because they're not performing at the level they should be performing, and the owners, the managers, the coaches, the sponsors say enough. So suddenly they lose not just their livelihood, but they lose their identity as well. But they have the dedication and the discipline. And one of the challenges that I think we face when we want to do any kind of self-healing is that it can happen overnight. But in the main, it's not a magic bullet. I was watching the Amazon video Heal, H-E-A-L, and in it, Joe Dispenza talks about his progress in healing himself. And every day for a month, he did intensive visualization. He'd smashed his spine up, basically. Excuse me. And every day for a month, he did intensive, daily, long visualizations, visualizing his spine healing. And by all accounts, listening to the video, that's pretty much all he was doing for a month. Imagine that. All you do is spend your time visualizing yourself fully healed, looking at every single aspect of your own anatomy inside your head and visualizing it healed, and dealing with whatever baggage you may have had, whatever mental and emotional baggage you may have had that either contributed the accident or might contribute to your slower self-healing afterwards. Energy is really, really powerful. And what we teach at Huna, the spirituality and the energy practices, are really, really powerful. But they said in the olden times, and the faith healing tradition, the prayer healing tradition in Hawaii was still going strong in the 50s and 60s. One of our one of my former teachers, John Kaimikawa, his aunt was a healer. She would pray over a wound and heal it. So he used to tell us the story of his aunt healing the leg of a child. The kid had, I think, fallen off his bicycle and broken his leg. So they brought the boy to her. She had everyone leave the room except the child, because the ancient Hawaiians believed that if you're going to do healing, it was really, really important that everybody in the room believed that the healing was totally possible. So by getting everybody out of the room, you excluded the possibility of anybody being around who had doubt, because doubt is not an option. You've got to believe that it's going to work. Anyway, John Kaimikawa's aunt, she had everybody leave the room. She reset the leg because it was a compound fracture. The bone was sticking out the skin. She reset the leg with her hands. She put herbs on, and then she prayed. And within days following a compound fracture, the kid was back on his bike, running around. His leg was healed. Now, she was very skilled and practiced in this area. That was what she did. That was who she was. Most of us probably takes a little bit longer, but it's the dedication. She didn't just pop out of the womb as a healer. She dedicated, she practiced, she learnt her trade. And that's part of the process. Whether you're a coach, whether you're doing things for yourself, I've just been bitten by a little midgy thing, whether you're doing things for yourself, you've got to dedicate to learning your trade, learning your tools and techniques, and then applying them. And sometimes applying them takes a little longer. The thing is, the energy's really, really powerful. And it's even more powerful if you can then deal with your baggage, whether your baggage is spiritual, mental, and emotional. Sometimes physical problems have not much mental or emotional baggage with them, but very often they do. And one of the things that we teach at Huna is how to release the emotional and mental and spiritual baggage that may stop healing, whether it's healing on a physical, mental, or emotional level. So if you're going to do healing work on yourself, as I say, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, or possibly spiritual, be prepared for the fact that you need to dedicate. And dedication takes many forms. It may be giving up a particular food, it may be engaging in a particular daily practice, but dedication takes many forms. And it's the mental attitude of dedication that is as important as the dedication itself. So if that's something that's interesting for you, if you're experiencing spiritual, mental, emotional, physical issues that you want some help with dealing with, then get in touch. The website's below, the contact details are below, because Huna is a powerful medium, and I can help you dedicate, and I can help you do some work around the baggage and heal the baggage and get back to who you really want to be. Take care. Lots of love.